Shalom, call all Yahweh Shem Shah. Shalom to the left. This video, I'm calling this one, How Are the Things That Esau Searched Out, man? We do all this homework and see what's going on around the earth, compare and contrast to the scriptures, look at historical accounts, and the primary suspect of all the bullshit that's going on is Esau, which are the rulers of this planet right now. So, let me read this precept right here. It's the book of Obadiah 1-6. It says, How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee, have prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There's none understanding in them. And see, if Esau was understanding, they'll realize, like, damn, all this shit that we've been doing, we digging our own hole. We digging our own pit. And what the scriptures say about that, I'm going to come at it Obadiah. Let me go to that. What do the scriptures say about that pit? Book of Proverbs chapter 26, verse 27, it says, Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein. Esau got the whole system set up as like a pit. Bank loans, the judicial system, the food system, aka the school system. Then you go to college, you get more in debt. That's a pit. You in a hole, basically. Your whole life, you come up. Most people be in the hole. It's real rare a person come into inheritance of different resources and riches and stuff like that. But majority of people, they be in a pit. And see, Esau been digging that pit for everybody else. They gonna fall in that shit. Now it says, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him. So all the stuff Esau been putting out, they still haven't paid for slavery yet. You got all this stuff going around by the reparations. True reparations is Esau going into captivity. And now people being set up in a righteous state, righteous mind, righteous spirit, and ruling in the proper balance as it was meant to be. So we had to go through all this stuff to learn these lessons and learn what not to be, what not to do. Let me go to this one right here. This book of Proverbs chapter 28 verse 10. It says, Whoso causeth the righteous to go astray in an evil way, he shall fall himself into his own pit, but the upright shall have good things in possession. That's why you Akim, the Most High, make sure you good. You ain't out here finessing people and getting over, trying to scam people and take people money and just do bullshit like that. The Most High make sure you got good stuff, you safe, you dwelling through Babylon with a stern mind. You know, of course, there's going to be some adversity on the way, but that's only to build your character up. All right. This book of Ecclesiastes chapter 10-8 said, He that diggeth a pit shall fall into it, and whoso breaketh a hedge, a serpent shall bite him. And Esau about to get bit, man. That's parabolic. But Esau about to get bit. You know why? Because they've been going to everybody's land, invading everybody's shit. Then they be forcing people into subjection and making people bow down. But now, see, the tables don't turn because these other nations, like the scriptures say, let the weak say I'm strong. Look, these other nations got the same arsenal that Esau got. And if they don't got the arsenal, they linking up with Putin so they can have that help and that support, and they ain't got to worry about shit. Like Venezuela, for instance. Now, look at this video right here. I queued up. I just happened to be on Twitter, and I seen somebody I know. Somebody I know posted this video right here, and I wanted to go further into detail. I'm like, man, let me see about this. I know it's supposed to be a UN summit. Then they got this stuff going on. It's supposed to be, which I will make another lesson on that. It's supposed to be a supposed government shutdown, and the debt ceiling done increase some more. And shit ain't looking good, man. You got all type of stuff going on in Babylon, man. But you got a lot of distractions too, so you gotta stay circumspect, stay vigilant. Now let me go to this right here. And see, hey, everything is spiritual, man. Look at this. Now you got a lot of these fools out here that be like, oh, we not the same people, and these people not our people, and all that. Man, look who he got as his vice president. Man, and look, just personal testimony, man. I hung around some of them Colombians, man. Some be brown skin, some be light, some be dark like her. Man, they do some of the same shit that we do. They under the same curses we under. They eat some of the same foods. The way they conduct themselves business-wise, or just they seasoned, man. They some season, like the scriptures say. We the salt of the earth, man. They seasoned too, man. They not just no heathens, man. You got a lot of people be simple and be all these Mexicans and all that. Now you got to think about the parables when talk about the wheats and the tares. You know, it's up to Yahweh and the angels to fully discern that. But if you pray for discernment, man, you can see certain people, man, you can tell, like, hey, man, these are people right here. They do the same shit, man. They just speak a different language because they're in a different region of the world. That's why when you read the book of Acts, one of the blessings is speaking in tongues. Why is it a blessing to be able to speak in tongues? Speak Espanol or Creole or German or whatever, Japanese, Chinese, because you got our people scattered around the whole planet. And see, I want to read some more precepts too as I let this video play, because this guy, he basically talk about that, about these different areas being invaded. And Esau, a fucking hypocrite, and talking about putting democracy in these different areas and all that. But when they come around, what do they do? Let's let this play. Let's see what he said. Now, before I let it play some on Salakia, I wanted to look up his name and see what it actually means. Hey, everything be spiritual, man. That's why I want to look this up. It said the Mexican name Gustavo meaning royal staff. Royal staff or staff of the gods. Says staff, support, or leader. Hey, man, see, these scriptures, man, you learn more and more stuff, especially when you look into these words, because I definitely didn't know that right there. So, Tawadi Habash and Yabasha. Gustav means God's staff, or famous guest. And see, this guy right here, how he's speaking, let me go back. How he's speaking, man, it's all spiritual, man. And they calling out Esau with their bullshit. Now, you know how Esau get down. They don't like when nobody call him out on the world stage. So, who knows? It might be a coup or something down there in Colombia. But this guy, ex-guerrilla warfare dude. So, I'm quite sure he know about the bullshit Esau try to pull. And he got his mercenaries or whatever, his military and all that shit are protecting him. And as I mentioned in a previous video, something gonna happen over there in Palestine and Israel in that region. And it's gonna draw Esau out further because Esau already stretched out thin with the Ukraine scenario and the Taiwan scenario. They just sent money to Taiwan. This scenario right here is all spiritual, man. Just so Esau can go send most of their troops over there to that region, because you know the Edomites under Amalekites, Amalek. So they all under the house of Esau. So whatever Amalek tell Edom to do, they gonna do that shit, man. And that's gonna set off a chain reaction of events. Oh, so let me go back just a little bit. And see, Esau don't want peace, man. Now, let me get this precept. It's the book of Psalm 55 and 21 say the words of his mouth are smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. And when you hear Creepy Joe speaking and them other, I can't think of the guy's name right now. It's right on the tip of my tongue. So I should like it. But you got to, I want to say he's the ambassador or something. It'll come to me later. But you got these guys that go speak on TV and get in front of the UN summits and all this other shit they be having and speak all this soft stuff and how they need to go into these other nations and put this democracy in there. But they really want war though. Like the scriptures say, man, said the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil. Yeah, well, they drawing swords, man. That's Esau, man. That's how Esau get down. That's why these other nations, they despising Esau. Let's see, let me go back. So book of Obadiah, verse 3, it says, the pride of thy heart Oh, let me go to verse 2. It says, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. The heathen despising Esau, and you got the other tribes bucking up against Esau, man. It's a reason for all this stuff that's happening in the spiritual, man. Verse 3, it says, the pride of thy heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? That's how Esau move around the planet, man. Who gonna bring me down? We got the strongest military and everybody else land. But the whole time over here in this land, shit all fucked up. You got people strung out on the oil, shitting on the street and shit. People selling organs. Now Esau ain't even gotta go grab your ass up to get your organs. Motherfuckers just offering that shit. This shit bad, man. Dollar inflated, but they ain't everybody else place trying to invade it. That's Esau for you, man. We go down to verse 9. It says, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed to the end that every one of the mountain of Esau may be cut off by slaughter. For thy violence against our brother Jacob shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. And see, this ain't happened yet, man, because Esau's still here, man. So they got a due date. They got a hefty price they got to pay. And see, let me scroll down. Let me go down some more. Verse 11 says, in a day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captives his forces, and foreigners enter into his gates and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was one of them. Because Esau always had to put out his narrative, oh, your own people sold you into slavery. Wrong. Them Hamites sold our people into slavery. Ethiopians was part of that shit. Who else? Ishmael was a part of that shit. Moab, Amalek, all these different heathens, all these different nations, they was a part of that shit. Esau had to get their dirty red hands in on the mix too. Well, like the scripture right here says in verse 12, it said, but thou shouldest not have looked on the day of thy brother, and the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction. Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress. Thou shouldest not have entered into the gate of my people in the day of their calamity. And thou shouldest not have looked on their affliction in the day of their calamity, nor have laid hands on their substance in the day of their calamity. Neither shouldest thou have stood in the crossways to cut off those of his that did escape. Because you got this going on right now. The guy mentioned that. People trying to escape from different lands and come into this land when Esau trying to kick them out. Esau, if anything, Esau should be getting the fuck out. This not their land. They came over here and made fake ass treaties and started breaking them and robbing and raping like they do best. But now they want to kick people out now. It says, neither shouldst thou have delivered up those of his that did remain in a day of distress, man. So Esau got a lot to pay for, man. It's in the book of Obadiah still, verse 15 says, for the day of Yahweh is upon all the heathen, and thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. So people always talking about karma and what you put out in the universe gonna get back. No, the Most High gonna get that shit back to you. And the Most High got something real special for Esau, man. Something that they know is prophesied to happen, but they think they can escape it. And it's not going down like that, man. We had to take our judgment because we went off as a nation and pissed the Most High off. But y'all really pissed the Most High because y'all wasn't supposed to fuck with us like that. Y'all was supposed to let us go on about our business and let the Most High deal with us how he deal with us. But nah, y'all had to get in on the mix and be wicked and take it to the max. Y'all took it to the max, man. And what the scripture say? It said, it should be done unto thee. Our reward shall return upon thy own head. For as you have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall drink and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. I'm not going to read the rest of this. I'm trying to think what other precept I want to get the end of so. Give me 1 minute. So we're going to Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 8. Hold on. Let me see what I want to get at. I'm going to read on down now in the south. The book of Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3. It says, for the vision is yet for appointed time, which we in them times right now. You don't fuck with nobody else talking about because they not paying attention to what's really going on. But we in them times right now. It's a beautiful time to be alive, man. You see stuff going down that our forefathers been looking forward to seeing, and it wasn't meant to happen back then like it's happening now. It says, for the vision is yet for appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Behold, his soul is lifted up. It is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yet also because he transgresseth by wine, he's a proud man, neither keepeth at home. What that guy say in the video? Esau invaded Libya, Iraq, Syria. Them just to name a few. They invaded South America. They invaded this place. They changed the names because it wasn't called South America and it wasn't called North America. They invaded both of these lands and put Amerigo Vespucci name on there. That's why you got Colombia. That's what you got, Columbus. And all these different states. You got different states. They put the name on all the goddamn states. Columbus, Georgia. Columbus, Ohio. Columbia, Carolina. It says, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. Esau can't be satisfied. They got trillions of dollars, the central bankers, and they just want to be like, you know what? Fuck it. We can take care of our people. We're going to push the rest of this money out and let people do what they're supposed to do and do how they do. We don't even want to deal with them no more. We just leave that shit alone. We got enough. They can't, though. They can't be satisfied, man. They just got to keep taking and taking and taking. Esau's so damn proud and demonic, they making sleeves and fake artificial beings and shit just so they can try to live on, not realizing you could put data in something, information in something, but you can't put a soul in that because the Most High control the soul, not you, Esau. You forgot? Well, it says, they cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations and heap up unto him all people. And that's what they try to do to South America. They try to get them to come join in on their little bullshit ass war. Man, them tribes, they ain't with that shit, man. Verse 6 says, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee? And thou shalt be for booties unto them, because thou hast spoiled many nations. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee, because of men's blood, for the violence of the land, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. And hey, Esau, it's coming, man. You can't escape. You try to go to your space station, your space hotel, your bunkers, your domes. What else you got? Your underwater caverns and all that bullshit. It's not going down, man. You just gonna hide out. So when the elect get beamed up, which I'm gonna make a video on that, because Esau been bringing out these videos about seeing the chariots and seeing the angels, and the angels are dark-skinned beings, or dark beings, black beings, not no gray aliens, not no reptilians. When the elect get beamed up and them angels be amongst them, also Yahushua, when they come back down, like the song said, when the saints go marching in, those are you top Edomites, you Amalekites that escape, it's gonna be in them caves, it's gonna be in them domes, it's gonna be in them space hotels, it's gonna be wherever you at, wherever you trying to hide at. Y'all gonna be the first ones that pay this back, man. So you can't escape, man. Like the scriptures say, Lord Terry, wait for it. So, Adwan Ratazada is edifying. Call Allah Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Shalom to the left.